Welcome to my poster presentation on social media assessment in an academic branch library. My name is Emily Simmons. I'm a student at the School of Information and Library Science at UNC. In this poster, I present a proposed plan to assess the efficacy and impact of the social media presence of an academic branch library. Specifically, I'm looking at the undergraduate library on the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill's campus. I work at this library and I help manage the social media for it. We have a Twitter account and an Instagram account. Social media is one of the main ways UNC library staff are able to share information with our patrons as services remain largely remote during the pandemic. In a time of such strain, it's important that the library's social media presence is effective and sensitive to the upheavals affecting our patrons, workers, and community members. In the library assessment literature on social media, the effectiveness of social media is often reduced to analytics and metrics. Look at which posts do well and do more of that. It is very much numbers focused and not at all focused on the experience of the users and what the users want, what they find engaging or interesting. That's a huge gap in the assessment literature for social media. A couple of the studies I looked at did suggest asking the users what they want, acknowledging that you should consider qualitative information in addition to quantitative information, but they didn't give any examples of how to do that. One study used surveys to look at the effectiveness of a single social media campaign, but that was not an assessment of the social media presence as a whole. So there's a lot of work to be done in this area of assessment. And since there is such a large gap in the literature, what I propose here is just first step or a prototype that hopefully can be built upon and more iterations can evolve from this starting point. I propose a critical, user-focused assessment program soliciting feedback directly from library users and non-users. First, I propose the use of focus groups to begin to understand what our library users want and need from our social media presence. Recruiting from a wide range of demographics, including people who use the library, people who come to library events, our followers on social media, as well as trying to recruit some people who don't use the library and don't follow the social media accounts. Getting the perspective of people who aren't engaged in the library at all would be helpful to start to figure out how the content on our social media could be tweaked to serve these groups better. That range of responses from users to non-users would be useful in making good decisions moving forward. I propose that we ask these focus group participants about their experiences on social media, specifically interacting with or following accounts of university and university adjacent departments. Asking what they want from those accounts, how they use those accounts. Is it to get information? Is it for entertainment? Is it to learn about events or services? Getting that information about why they follow accounts like ours. Second, I propose the use of a journey map method to get a different kind of feedback from these participants. For example, ask the participants to find information about a library event and paying attention to how they go about finding that information. Where do they go first? What problems do they run into? Are they successful in finding the information? How long does it take them to find the information or give up? Do they go through social media at all? Desired outcomes for this assessment project are not increased numbers, increased engagement, increased followers, but rather library users being able to find information that is relevant to them, and library users feeling like our social media accounts are trustworthy places to find information, and also our social media followers not being frustrated by our presence on social media. I would love to share the results of this project in at least a semi-formal manner. I would like this information to be published so that other librarians and workers at libraries who manage social media accounts can find it and build off of it. So whether that's publication in a journal or on a blog or something similar, that's what I'm aiming for. And I want to see the conversation about assessment of library social media progress past analytics and metrics to a more user-centered realm. Effectiveness of social media cannot simply be measured by comments, likes, and follows. Qualitative data must be consulted to get a more complete understanding of impact. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions and comments.